And I can't stand that there's still bitching and complaining in the black community. You should all shut up because everything's friggin' even right now. I don't want to hear it. You got a guy that's pretty much a shoo-in for president. You got leaders that get away with murder for talking whatever they want to say with impunity, as opposed to Whitey, who's got to walk around on eggshells or else he's going to lose his job. That's the world we live in. So stop your bitching. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Wow. Completely right. Completely right.
It's ridiculous.
100%.
We're even. There you go. Even Steven. The victimization goes out the window. And that's what Malik is saying. He's all mad at me by saying we're even. Malik, hi, my brother from Asbury Park.
Yo,
What's up?
What up, fellas? Hey, look, man, any other time I see where you guys are coming from. But for you to sit there and think after 400, and believe me, I'm not one of those brothers that sit there and be like, oh, the white man this, the white man that. Never that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody deals with their own merit. But for you to sit there and say we're even because one black man slid through the crack and he may become president, you're bugging. We're even.
I'm not saying just because one black man is right here at the threshold of the White House. I'm saying if you look at history, especially over the past few years, it really has gotten easy for the black man to attain.
You're not a black man. You can't say it's been easy.
I don't have to be black, dude. I don't have to be black to look at society with an open mind and see that it has become a lot easier for black people in this day and age. Just the fact that Barack Obama is being considered and the contender for president of the United States, that wouldn't have happened even 10 years ago, come close to happening. And it is now. When I go to the airport, it is just loaded with black employees. When I stop at the airport, the baggage handlers, security people, and you know something? Yes, even the pilots. I notice when I get back off the plane. Okay, that was a bad one, but no. And even the pilots. All I'm saying is a lot of civil service jobs. There's a lot of very good jobs. I watched a show called The First 48. It's a cop show. They show the first 48 hours of murder. Hold on 2 seconds. And a lot of the people involved in this, the police officers involved in the homicides, are black people. I was watching this last night going, black people have really made strides in this country. They have good jobs. The only time black people are being put down in this country is when they are on the news for robbing and killing people. There are so many black people that are doing very well in America these days. If they go to school and they educate themselves, they get a good job. There isn't this blatant blanket racism anymore that just because you're black, you're not going to attain the American dream. If you're stupid, if you're talking like a friggin' moron from the inner city in Ebonics, if I could use a term that's friggin' 10 years old, then you're going to have problems. But black people that have assimilated, have educated themselves, have an easier time getting jobs and making money than white people do. And I will stand by that absolutely.
Malik?
Absolutely disagree. Absolutely disagree, Anthony. Listen, times have gotten a little better.
A little?
A little better. I agree with you there. Times have gotten a little better. But there is a whole
you gotta
lot
watch some
more.
old videos.
Poof, really? Where's the fire hoses and German Shepherds, my friend? Times have gotten a lot better. Like I said, the only problem are when people in the black community will not assimilate to this country. And that isn't placating and kowtowing to the man. It's working the system of the United States of America like anyone else has had to do to attain what is called the American dream. For some reason, there's a certain part of the black community that refuses to do this because they see it as placating the man, as kowtowing, as being an Uncle Tom, instead of just living their life as an American in this country.
Listen, you have your ignorant factors in any race that you speak of.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is the hardworking person that if you're black, you still have to work 2-3 times harder than the average man.
I don't agree.
Absolutely.
I think black people that are educated, that have a decent job, have an easier time because white people are so goddamn scared crapless of tripping up and being called racist and losing their job that they will give the benefit of the doubt to the black person. And I'm not talking about a thug. I'm talking about the hardworking family guys that are out there, working and doing a good job. Those black guys have it knocked right now.
Listen, Anthony, let me explain something to you. Do you understand? You will never understand how it feels. And let me express.
I'm Sicilian.
I'm college educated. Okay, I know we joke around. I'm in the streets and all that. I'm in the streets too, but I'm college educated. When I go into a mall, I go into a store, I go into anything like that, a professional setting, I'm looked at like, oh my God, here he comes.
That has to be fixed in your community. Do you understand something though? That has to be fixed in your community. There is a problem in the black community.
It has to be fixed around the board, Anthony. It's not just in our community. Like I said, you have bad factions in every race. Now, just like Jim Norton says, he makes a point that our stereotypical view of a white guy when comedians joke is, hey, I'm this white guy, and we know that's not the typical white guy, but that's how it's viewed. Come on, we don't look at you like that.
Malik,
so you can't look at every black guy as a thug.
You know why you get
as far as Jesse Jackson goes, who supports Jesse Jackson in the black community? Jesse Jackson is a backbiting coward.
It doesn't matter. He's getting away with using a word that he is condemned, that is being condemned in the black community, and he's getting away with using that word when he's talking about Barack Obama.
I have a question for Malik. Like, let's say, okay, you disagree with that on that point, fine. But with language, though, because my thing was with the language. You have to admit there is this thing with language where white people are afraid to call black people out on stuff like that for real, as opposed to being comfortable calling other white people out.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with you. But as far as that word, the N word goes, you can't kill a word, you can't bury a word, you can't get rid of that word until the sediments and the attitude of the word is destroyed. That's why that word will never die.
Yeah, but look who's using it with impunity. Black people.
You're right.
So where's the sentiment? Where's the sentiment there? Where's the hate speech? Is it hate speech when Jesse Jackson uses it? Because it sure as hell is when a white person uses it.
I agree with you.
Anthony makes a really good point. It's got to start with the black community. They got to get rid of the N-word. Simple as that.
I agree. I mean,
you got Jesse Jackson throwing around the N-word on TV like it's nothing.
Yep.
That's going to cause problems.
And especially, and what you brought up before about being followed around in the stores and stuff, Malik, I believe me, I'm feeling how that's got to suck. But the thing is, there's a disproportionate amount of crime in the black community. It's the way it is. These are statistics you can look up. I'm not blurting this crap out off the top of my head. There is a disproportionate amount of crime. And with the opportunities that are available these days to everybody, and especially black people, like I said, white guilt, you guys should milk the hell out of it. It just shouldn't be that way. There's a problem. There's a problem there that has to be addressed by the black community. Well, Whitey can't step in and fix that garbage. You guys, every morning, is it a vast news conspiracy that every morning when we watch the news and you see home invasion, you see convenience store robbery, gas station robbery, that the surveillance cameras show a majority of the time that it's a few black guys walking in there? Do you think white people look and go, holy Jesus Christ, wow, that's odd? No, they go, oh my God, I'm going to walk in a store and I'm going to look at the people that I have noticed have been committing the most crimes.
Yeah, you're right. But who is broadcasting this nonsense?
Nonsense? It's on film.
Yes. Who is broadcasting this nonsense? A black guy robs this. A black guy holds.
Oh, okay. The Jew media.
So white guys doing B&Es? I used to do B&Es with white guys. What are you talking about?
It's nice to see them work together.
Well, all right. One thing you can't explain though is why is it on page 18 of the Daily News, Malik?
Very good.
This is the problem I have. Obviously, the score. No one. Anthony's talking about just how things are right now and how things are perceived. No one thinks that 400 years were wiped out within 20 years. But why is it on page 18 of the Daily News and page 8 of the Post? And that's something you can't change. And I want to know why is that? Because the Jesse Jackson's a powerful guy. He's a guy that associates. He has access to the president. He has access. He goes to Syria. He goes overseas. He represents U.S. interests, even though not as a government official. He's a powerful guy for real. And he's not being held to these language standards, but white entertainers are fired for stuff like this. We almost got fired, and the only reason we weren't was because the Condoleezza Rice thing was because a black guy said it, and because there were white people mentioned as well. But they would have nailed us to the wall on the racial angle of that if they could have. So why is it on page 18 and page 8?
And we barely skated, by the way.
Yes.
The guy that was in charge over at XM at the time wanted us fired big time.
Yep.
And good old Eric Logan, who's leaving the company, was able to change his mind, thank God. So
why is it page 18 and page 8? That's the problem I have.
Yeah.
all right.
I really can't answer that question, but all I know is that when words like the N-word are put into play, look, you're right. We have a lot of homework that we have to do within the black community ourselves. Yes, I'm not disfranchising myself from that issue. You're right. You're completely right. But at the same time, you guys cannot say, oh, it's black this, it's black that, because of what is portrayed. And it's portrayed in a negative and wrong light. We're always getting the bad view of it. Like I said, a lot of black people in the black community do not support Jesse Jackson.
That's true. That's why I blame white people, because white people are pretty much the ones who are running the media, not black people, and they're the ones who are showing it or not showing it. It's white guilt.
He should absolutely be crucified for what he said.
Of course.
And it should be on the front page of every newspaper in America. Yeah. And it should be, and they should be playing the clip over and over and over again, like they do with everything else. Every time Whitey screws up, boy, they play it over and over and over again.
Yep.
They had a tiny little sound clip from our radio show when we got in trouble with this homeless Charlie thing. They played that over and over and over and over again on TV.
That's for sure.
But it shouldn't be Bill O'Reilly. It shouldn't be Sean Hannity.
Bill O'Reilly. He's
right. It should be us. It should be the black community that should put him on Front Street. But like I said before, we haven't had a true black leader in the black community in a long time. So if we don't have a true black leader to address him, then it's going to go under the table.
Malik, I got to tell you something. The second we allow black people in here, I want to have him as a guest.
Malik, Asbury Park, we got to go. All right,
we have to take a break.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
At the virus show. Peace.
He's going to be at the virus show.
Malik's cool to talk to.
No.
You know something? He makes good